about to move. I feel it in the wind you're about to ride in. You said that you would pour your spirit out. You said that you would fall on sons and daughters. So come. I feel it in my bones, you're about to move. I feel it in the wind, you're about to ride in. You said that you would pour your spirit out. You said that you would fall on sons and daughters. So like the rain, come drench us in love. Let your glory rush in like a flood. 'Cause we are fixed on this one thing, to know your goodness, to see your glory, and we're transformed by this one thing, to know your presence, to see your beauty. I can see it now, your kingdom come. I can hear it now, the sounds of heaven. You said that if we ask, we'll receive. So we're asking for the greater measure. So like the rain, come drench us in love. Let your power rush in like a flood. 'Cause we are fixed on this one thing, to know your goodness, to see your glory, and we're transformed by this one thing, to know your presence, to see your beauty.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another session of Family Heart Talk, where we bring issues that are current and relevant, and together with our selected panelists, try to hash out the issues and make it applicable to our lives. My name is Ellie Sim. I will be your host, and today the title of our topic is Haiyah, online again, and is your home cyber safe? Before we start, let me introduce our distinguished panelists. First up, we have Patrick Cheng, a certified therapist specializing in the area of sex addiction. He also has certifications in internet addiction, assessment and intervention, cyber sex, child addiction diagnosis, and treatment. I'm really eager to hear what Patrick has to share with us today. We also have Peggy Tan Schmidt, who has been in full-time ministry since 1989. Hi, Peggy. That's 31 years of helping countless women and children together with her husband, Terry. They are based in Thailand, and together they help people through their trauma so that they can experience emotional healing in their lives. In addition to that, Peggy also has an MA in Holistic Child Development. Last but not least, we welcome Amanda Wong, our very own youth leader and children minister, as well as international school teacher. Amanda has worked with youth from broken families, youth with addictions, low self-esteem, and depression. Hi, Amanda.
Hey.
Welcome, and thank you all for making time to be with us today. Before we continue, I'd just like to put it out there that we absolutely welcome questions. So don't be shy and give us all you've got, yeah? Okay, nowadays, we cannot run away from the internet. And in the current climate, we rely more and more on it. People go online for entertainment, information, shopping, and everything in between. So while YouTube, social media, and online games, etc., are not evil in themselves, yet there have been too many cases of abuse and misuse. So allow me to start with you, Patrick. Tell us your experience helping people with cyber addictions. How prevalent is it in our society and so on? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Share
a
with
joy to be with you this afternoon, sharing on this subject that I've been working with people on. Right, cyber problems happen everywhere. It's just like our uh, highways, yeah, our roads and highways. Yeah, we drive, right? We drive. We make use of the highway, but there are accidents. Right? We see sometimes so terrible accidents that happen. Yeah, people misuse the road. There are some people we wish that we can take them off the road altogether. Yeah, they are not fit for the road as it were. Yeah, but we still use the highway. Yeah, so likewise the internet. Yeah, the internet has a lot of good things. Yeah, I think for myself, yeah, I connected with some of my primary school friends. People have lost contact for umpteen years, but because of Facebook, yeah, I connected with them. It brings me so much joy to get to connect with them again. So absolutely, Facebook is great, but there are issues that come along with Facebook, Instagram, and some of these things. Yeah. So this afternoon, I hope that our time together, we were able to talk about some dangers and risks, so to make our travel along this technology highway safer. Yeah. So that's where I'm coming from. Yeah. You talk about prevalence. Prevalence. Maybe cite some broad categories first. Yeah. Talk about work-life balance. First of all, work-life balance, especially during this COVID period, where your home become your office. Yeah. So that has been a big problem facing a lot of people, and more. I just read today, now news. This Apple, I believe Apple has said they're going to make work from home a permanent feature of their office life now. Think of it, I just have a case last Saturday, where the wife complained to me. Now the husband spends so much time on his computer because of work. Yeah, it's really a challenging thing. It's an adjustment period for them. That's work-life balance. Yeah. Then you talk about porn. Porn is a big thing right now. Yeah. Sometimes we accidentally stumble upon it without us realizing. We Google for certain things and just a porn site just come up. Yeah, it's so easy to access porn now. Sexting, internet gambling, cyberbullying, cyber predators, social media and gaming addiction. Yeah, so we'll be focusing on some of this. Time would not permit us to cover everything this afternoon. Most likely, we will focus on porn and digital addiction. Yeah, in the examples that we're going to use. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, Eddie, trust that our time together, we were able to cover some of these things. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. When it comes to, so it's like, it's, you can say that because of your experience helping couples, right, or helping families even in this internet addiction, that it is a problem right now in our society. Would you say that, Patrick?
It's definitely a problem. Yeah. No. I can quote you stats. Statistics show that it's about 10 to 15% of people who are involved in digital, in gaming, in the gaming industry, likely they will have a addiction disorder. Yeah. Now that 10 and 15% can be also applied across the board in terms of gambling, in terms of porn addiction. Now, it will affect people. Statistics were very dry things, right? But I'd like to quote you two stories.
Mm-hmm.
To just talk about how internet problem has affected people. Yeah. I think of this couple in their 40s with children, young children, going primary school going children. Yeah. The husband has not been approaching the wife for sexual intimacy for about 2 years. Yeah. So the wife thought that, oh, my husband is getting older. Yeah. He may not be interested in. Or there are other times where the wife think, have I grown older? Not so attractive to my husband anymore. He doesn't seem to be, aroused by me. Yeah. So the wife was feeling bad, inside. Yeah. Then one night, the wife discovered the husband was actually watching porn in his study. Wow, the wife was furious. You mean all these years, right? These past 2 years, you have been watching porn, and who am I married to, right? Do I really know my husband or not? Who is this man that I'm with right now? So the wife was furious, and the wife was so betrayed. Yeah, it's about porn. Now, there's only one couple. Yeah, there are many more out there who may be facing a similar problem. Yeah, think about game addiction. This family, the mother wrote to me about her son, 14-year-old, very rude, shouting, bursting in terms of the internet speed, just slow down a bit, he'll be shouting, and screaming out his head. And when his time is up, say time meaning, okay, the parents give him 2 hours, you can play for 2 hours, the rest of the time, please do your homework and all this. So mother come along and then gently tell him, oh, your time is up. Wow, he turned around and blasted the mother. The mother said, wow, what is happening to my son? Yeah, they're just becoming so tired trying to, manage the son because of the time, the amount of time he's spending. And one night, they caught him in the room. Instead of sleeping, he's playing games, using his handphone, playing games.
Right. Okay.
It's affecting people.
Yeah. So perhaps we go to Amanda as someone who is working with teens and children. Amanda, do you have anything to add to what Petra has just shared? Amanda? Okay, never mind. We'll move on. What can you say that is the true cause of this gaming addiction? And how do you counsel them? Peggy, perhaps coming from the pastoral side, would you have anything to add to this?
Well, actually, I think that for every kind of addiction that you have, basically there's a lack of connection within the family dynamics. And so it may have started even when they were little, where parents are very hardworking for them, and parents usually think that if we give them all that we can give them and make them study hard, then they'll be fine. But the problem is they need love, they want connection, and once they don't have connection with us, what they want to do is they want to find something else that they can connect to. And once you play a game, it's distracting, right? It's distracting to the pain inside you that's saying, how come mom is not interested in me? All they are doing is working. How come dad is interested in scolding me? Did you do your homework? Did you take your bath? Did you do this? And that's the end of the discussion. And in that case, they feel a lot of pain. And when they feel pain and there's traumas, what they want to do is, hey, I need something to distract me from this pain. I need to avoid this pain. And therefore, they go on internet, find something. And once they get a game that they like and they're hooked, once they're hooked, that's it. Sudah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What about Amanda? What's your experience working with teens and children? Have you faced any children or teens with addiction? Okay. Okay, well, perhaps just take this time to remind the audience that we welcome questions, and if you've got any questions, do type, put it in the comments below, and we will get to them shortly. Okay, perhaps we move on to question 4. Now, what are the social, spiritual, and psychological and physiological effects of internet addiction?
Right, I'd like to answer that question. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Let's talk about the physical first, the physical, physiological. Yeah. When young people are so engrossed in the game, yeah, they oftentimes tend to slack in terms of the hygiene. Yeah. They can, their body odor can be very, very strong. They're sitting down there, right? If there are parents listening to me right now, I'm sure you can identify with that. Yeah, because they're using so much energy, right, in the room there, and their body odor very strong. Yeah, sometimes they may even neglect in terms of food, the proper nutrition. Yeah, those days when they go to the cyber cafe, even now you look at the cyber cafe, you look at it, most, if not all, the cyber cafe, there is a mama store parked outside. Why do you think so? Because every time when they spend on the game, the moment they exit the game, they're going to lose points, as it were, lose score. Yeah, they will be left behind. So they don't have time to actually eat also. No? So what happens is they just order the food. The mama will send the food to their computer table, and then they will just eat from there. Like, take this back to your house, right? You are having dinner, and your child is there playing game. He doesn't want to be part of the dinner. Initially, you fight only, but after some time, as he grow older, he can have his way. He said, "I will eat by myself, right, rather than join you." Oh, that is another cause for warfare, conflicts, between parents and child. They're physical. Yeah, social, they tend to withdraw, isolate themselves because they spend so much time in the game. Now, from my reading and research, we talk about connection. Peggy talked about connection earlier on. They find a lot of connection. In the cyber world. These people, they may not be their good friends and all this, but a lot of time, one of the psychological reasons why they log on and spend so much time playing is because of connection. They feel connected. But that connection is very superficial, as it were. It's just through text, yeah? Sometimes through talking as well, yeah? But it's nothing as face-to-face. There's no face-to-face connection. So over the course of time, they are not so competent socially to able to read facial cues, interact with people. So next time when they go out to work, they may have a problem trying to work in a team. Yeah. So that's one of the dangers, foreseeable dangers ahead of from the social perspective. And of course, they also lack the frustration tolerance level that is lower. Yeah, because in the IT world, everything is super fast. Yeah, but when you work with people, it's not like that. Yeah, so understand, working with people because their frustration level is low. Yeah, much lower. Yeah, so from the neurobiological is something to do with the brain. From that perspective, gaming is something very exciting. There's a lot of pleasure. When you win a certain game, you feel so happy. But in the course of winning the game, there's a lot of dopamine being released up here. Yeah, every time when there's excitement, right, dopamine is being released. Yeah, for gamers, the danger is oversaturation of dopamine. That is the danger. Yeah. Now, what happens is when there is oversaturation of dopamine up here, the frontal cortex, the prefrontal cortex rather, that is the part of the brain that deals with functional decision making. That part is affected. Is either being shrunk. In the long term, it can be shrunk. In the short term, it can be incapacitated. Yeah. So So they will have a problem making logical decision, thinking of danger. Yeah. For example, we know that we need about at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Cognitively speaking, all of us know that. But for them, because this part is being incapacitated, they can go on and play, from 8 hours, go on to 12 hours, 16 hours. Yeah. No, you ask them, isn't it affecting them? But because this part is being incapacitated, they can't make logical decisions. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds very serious. If it's affecting even 10% of the population right now, with the prefrontal cortex that you mentioned that is not functioning at the optimum level, no wonder there are so many poor decision makers in the world today. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
when parents understand that part, then parents can be more gracious, more understanding. Yeah, where their children spend so much time, rather than screaming their head off, right? But seeing that this is a disease, as it were, a disease that's affecting the brain because of the games, then they will try to find answers for their children. Yeah, so that can help, actually.
yeah, so that again, that goes back to what Peggy mentioned just now, um, with the parent-child relationship and all that. Peggy, do you have anything to add to what Patrick has said?
Well, basically, with the connection, if we can go back to connection, uh, I can say that there are really nothing that's new in the sun, as in Ecclesiastes. So in the old days, it was television. Parents put their kids in front of the television to babysit for them, and then after a while, they are engrossed in the television. So then they are not interested in parents, and so the plague of our life at the moment in this present generation is internet, cyber warfare, as we have called it here. We are online again, and we can be online 24/7, and definitely that's not good for us. And so I would say prevention is the cure, but then if we are already in it, then we need to find a way out. We need to start talking to them, finding out where the connections are, that we can bring them out of that situation. Because like Patrick has said, it's superficial. The connection is superficial. Therefore, it behoves us as parents, as families, to bring the connection in the home itself. Encourage them to go outside and exercise. Encourage them to go and do different things, gardening, sports, whatever it is, to get them active, moving, rather than sitting in front of the computer or their phone would help,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Peggy. Amanda, can you hear me?
Yes. I'm
Okay,
so
great.
sorry.
Now, because we would really like to hear your opinions on how it has affected with the children and the teens that you have worked with, this internet addiction. Could you please give us your perspective?
All right. So for teens and children, especially during this MCO,
Mm,
towards addiction has become even more obvious. How do I know that? Because I will start getting phone calls, texts from parents, grandparents, older siblings saying that they are 24/7 on the phone, they're not doing their homework, they're not eating, they're not even showering. So that is, and they're not even sleeping. Some of them, they're only around age 10 to 12, and they were sleeping at 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning. Why were they doing that? Because they were watching movies, they were actually playing games. And the funny thing is when I text them and I'm trying to like make a Zoom call with them, and then I'm like asking, hey, time for Zoom call. Hey, can you come in? Then they're like, no. I say, why? They say, my phone not enough battery. I say, why? And then he says that because I play game the whole day, because I watch movie the whole day. And I asked, what else have you been doing besides that? He said, nothing. Then he's like, oh, I can totally understand why are the family so furious, and why are everyone so furious on them holding the phone. It's like they want to take away the phone or throw the phone away already. But actually this affects the children. It's like it's also another like a red light signal for the parents and adults, not only about the child but also how are we interacting with the child, because
Yeah.
they only say, hey, don't play lah, don't play, hey, don't play, then scold them already. But it did not
All right. Oh dear, I think Amanda is breaking up. Okay.
it did not help
Yeah.
them
Okay. Perhaps we have to move on and come back to Amanda a
to
little bit
stop
later.
playing. It did not help them from stop using the phone. But instead, it just led them to like, because they were already
Oh dear.
Now you understand why connection is so important, Ellie.
Yeah, we're tearing our hairs off. Never mind. Okay, how about Peggy? I want to come back to you about cyber wellness in a couple's relationship. Patrick just now did mention about a couple, where the husband was addicted to porn. Now, from your experience as a minister, how do you help a couple in this style relationship?
Well, when the wife discovers the husband, I mean, it can be the other way around too, right? Because porn nowadays is very popular with women. They
Yeah,
start with a soft porn, and they start with books that are pornographic. So say if it's a wife. So a wife, when they come, and they'll be suffering because the husband is seeing different things, and maybe the husband wants them to try out different things that they feel just like the word that was used is betrayed. And so she's suffering. He feels as if, why you won't do things for me? Like I asked you to, we are in a marriage relationship, right? And she is saying, and my idea is, hey, he's already in adultery, because what did Jesus say? Jesus said that if you think about it in your mind, you are already doing it. All the more he's looking at things, and when they are looking at it, they're objectifying sex, and they are saying, hey, I want to do this, but this is an object, this is not the partner that he has married. And so I would say that he's already breaking the marriage covenant.
correct.
And so then, if he's ready for help, yeah, they need to be helped. But if he's not ready for help, I'm pretty much strong on this. If you break the covenant, then perhaps it's time for me to leave you so that you can sort yourself out if you want to. But if you are not willing to, then it's very hard for me to keep on looking at you betraying our relationship, because then there's no relationship, because he's just in a world of his own, in his, when he's doing that thing, and when he's out, he's not even aware of what's going on. There's no connection in the deep spiritual level, because intimacy, according to the Bible, as Adam knew Eve, then they knew each other intimately. There's a very sacred part of our marriage, which is the sex when you were in marriage. But then now he's having cyber sex with who knows how many people. So
That's right.
that's very difficult for her.
Mm,
And in order to protect that marriage, then the connection again has to be there. You need to have a strong marriage. You need to have, we need to be open with each other what we are seeing online. He need
right.
to be able to let her look at his phone or his computer and look at all the sites that he has been to, and vice versa. And so in order to protect each other's relationship with each other, you have to have a strong connection. Again, this goes back to a strong marriage. And we all know, those of us that are married, that marriage is hard work. It's not, oh, got married already, honeymoon over, just look after myself. No, I'm looking after my husband, and my husband is looking after me, and we are working towards a strong marriage, stronger as we go along. And that brings to honesty, truth, and safe connections.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Maggie,
Yep.
you mentioned about the spiritual part and you kind of allude to some psychological part as well. I'd like to add on, right? Ali, it's okay for me to add on
Yeah,
on
sure.
the psychological part that not many people are aware of. Now, what happened is when people, men, talk about men, right? Sometimes because of the relationship with the wife, they are not finding the intimacy, the connection there. So they look towards porn for intimacy, for they to meet their intimacy needs. Yeah, but what they don't realize is that porn has the power, to change the neural pathways in their brain, rewiring it in a different direction altogether. So, as time goes on, they find that they are not able to connect sexually with their wives. In other words, let me give you a sample first to illustrate on this before I go back to, in other words. Yeah. Those of us who have tasted alcohol, beer, yeah, to Chinese New Year, I still remember drinking at around 14 years old, drinking the first can of beer, right? I just drank a bit, then I became very tipsy already, yeah. It hit me, yeah. But over the course of time, I drink one can, it's still okay, Chinese New Year, one can, not too bad. For those of you who don't drink beer, there's another issue. I'm not entering into a theological debate with you. I'm just using that as an illustration, okay? Yeah. Likewise for red wine, for the matter. Yeah. But what I'm trying to illustrate is, over the course of time, your body develops a tolerance, your brain develops a tolerance towards alcohol. I have one client who can drink 25 cans of alcohol and still can go back home. Yeah, you see, obviously he's become an alcohol addict. Yeah. But the point is about tolerance. So going back to porn, right? Initially, it may start off as relational problem, but over the course of time, it becomes a physiological problem because his brain is so saturated with highly sexualized images. That is porn. Porn is very high, sexualized activities. Yeah, which is not normal per se in the husband and wife relationship. So when he tried to have sexual intimacy with the wife, he just cannot perform. He just cannot perform. So what? So guess what? Over the course of time, he would be wondering, hey, what's wrong with me? I'm becoming impotent, But when he watch porn, he has no problem. Yeah. So he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know the concept of this. We call it PIED, porn-induced erectile dysfunction. Yeah. So he developed this problem. Yeah. So when he has this problem, so he dare not go near the wife because he's not going to perform and the wife not going to be happy with him. So he drives him away, right? So that is the thing that is affecting a lot of people, and they don't know about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that this is happening in church right now?
Well, nobody knows where they were, in terms of statistics. Yeah. I'm talking of Malaysian. In the West, Barna Group has done some statistics. A lot of Christians, have admitted to watching porn, yeah, and having this problem. Yeah. In the Malaysian context, I say, well, nobody has done the stats, nobody own up. But having said that, Amanda talking about early on during this COVID period, the people lock on, the young people lock on to games very, very often. They have found from Google Trends that in Malaysia, people watching porn has increased tremendously. Who are the people? Again, nobody knows you because you don't go by demographics in terms of religion. Yeah, but definitely Malaysia came out number one as far as Asia is concerned.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Amanda, have you had what do you call experience counseling young people who are addicted to porn?
For that, not really, but mostly I've counseled young people who have actually encountered drugs actually. Yeah, more on
Right.
drugs Yeah, so I find that addiction is based on what Patrick say. Addiction is something that once you got it, it got hooked. So addiction in another way is similar to like you get drugs. Yeah, means drugs. They don't call people who take drugs like drugger or what. They actually in a real term they call it substance abuser. So it's like addiction is like something you abuse something, you get addicted to it. So it could be something good, but once you abuse it, it became an addiction, it became something bad. So yeah, back to what I was saying earlier was it does affect not only the child or the youth. Yeah, when it goes to internet addiction, it actually affects the people around them as well, because the
Yeah.
elderly, the adults are going to go really really frustrated, and then they really don't know how to communicate, and the kid, they will have this little innocent that they don't understand what they did wrong, and the parents keep scolding. It's like, it's only game, it's only a movie, why are you scolding me? Oh, I'm not showering only for one day, but why are you scolding me? They don't understand that. But as adult, we know that this is dangerous and they are falling into a trap, and they're going into addictions that is something really bad and could ruin their future. But for children and young people, they don't know that. So it's actually like a red light signal for people around them or adults. It's like a signal for you to show that, hey, it is time that this child is lack of communication and lack of intimate relationship with you. It's time for you to speak with him, sit down with him or her, then try to talk with them more and explain and even to understand what's so interesting about the game. And maybe have a little bit interest on that. It's not to be addicted as a family, but to understand, like have common topics so that your child will be like, if not, your child will be like, you don't even understand me. Why should I listen to you? So when you have interest and common topics that you could talk with your child or even your youth, then they were like, oh, my parents trying to get to know me. Oh, they're trying to get to know. Maybe for initial, if like for Asian parents, when they start to go in, like interfere into their child's zone. Yeah, some young people, they will feel like they are trying to come into my space, man. This is my space, my personal space. Like they're trying to come in. Yeah, but actually, it's another way. It's like, I know there's the struggles like youth and young people and even parents trying to click together, especially during adolescent age. There's like, this is my space. I don't want you to come into my space because I'm afraid that you will embarrass me. So this is another type of peer pressure. It's another way different age of children, like primary or secondary or even tertiary, different age have different way of speaking to them and approaching to them. But mainly the cause to stop uh, letting them having addictions online is actually starting to know what is the root cause. It could be peer pressure. It could be maybe because of lack of attention at home, and then their attention given out maybe in the games or social media means outward. Then they have this another new thing is called approval addiction. Means like, I need to level up to be the most powerful one. I want to have the most gear in the game. I want to be the top one and get the highest rank. So there's this confirmation. You feel happy about it, and yeah. So in another term is talk to your child, talk to the youth, and as youth, if you're watching this, allow your parents to come into your life. Of course, you talk nicely and gently. They are not all parents are good in technology and do not like say, yeah, what you don't know one. So yeah, this game is like so, yeah, so it's like actually can explain and talk to them. Like I remember when I was around secondary school, I was playing this game called CSGO. If young people, they may know what is it. CSGO is actually Counter Strike Go. Yeah, it's about, for me, my perspective when I'm playing the game, first is socially with my friends because we will have common
Yeah.
topics in school. And then secondly, it's like the internet was not so great during that time. You don't have phones, you only got computer games. So when you're playing CSGO and you can hear your friends, you're just like, oh wow, we can communicate like that. And something is like you're building this teamwork. But for my parents, when my mom saw, my mom and dad, okay, when they saw me playing the game, they were really, how to say, they were quite shocked because the game is what? Counter Strike and terrorists, you're killing people. So they're like, why are you killing people? Why? So I'm like, that's not the main point, mom. I'm not trying to kill people in real life. I'm actually just playing game. So when we talk and when we communicate and they understand, another way also through like some of these games, I also learn like new things. Like, oh, so this is how people go to war and all this. So this is like a side track on that. The main key is communicating is really, yeah, communicating will actually break the bond of like going to one side. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Amanda. Okay. Moving on. It's like we have talked about so many dangers, so many issues, but we cannot deny that the internet has brought about many positive changes in our society. So how can the family use the internet to their advantage?
Family.
Do it as a family.
So
Yeah.
it's
There
like,
are lots of things that you can do as a family. You can go to church as a family at this time. We can't go to church, right? FGA, there are very few people there, and we are still on lockdown. We can go to church as a family, do it as a family, and then talk about it after. Because that's the important part. Well, like for example, what do you think about what Pastor Daniel Tan said today about the prayer with the pronounce? That's just one example, and we can get them talking. Give open questions. We can use this as a family connection time. And there are other things, like for example, I'm here in Thailand. I can connect with you guys. That's connection, right? And we can connect with hi. We can connect with each other all over the world, and in good things. We can connect the gospel. There are so many
Yeah.
things that we can use the internet for at the moment. That's good. The things that are bad, we talked a lot about the bad things, but there are good things. We can share and encourage each other on internet, Facebook, whatever it is that you use. I have a spiritual grandchildren that is 4 hours away, and they are growing up so fast. They are about maybe 8 months old now, and I haven't seen them since they're 6 months. They're 8, 9 months, and they're starting to walk, not quite walk, but standing unsteadily, and they're so cute.
Yes.
And my spiritual daughter will send me all these clips, and they're twins. So I
double
said,
the joy.
yeah, and double the work. I said, don't compare them. Oh, yeah, mom, I shouldn't compare them. That's the good thing about internet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also important that besides this the spiritual part, right? You talk about communication, right? We are brought up talking about a prayer altar, family altar. Yeah, we come together as family to discuss about the Bible, to pray together. But talking about internet, prevention, we also need to have a family digital time, where you're able to talk about some of the issues facing the digital world, right, the cyber world. What are the dangers that what we can do to counter some of these things, in terms of cyberbullying, predators, sex predators, talk about porn, one time I was doing homework as a good father with my son. That was a long time ago, many years ago. Yeah. Now, his homework was on animals, particularly on fox. Yeah. So I just typed in the word fox there. Lo and behold, one that came out. Right. Yeah. Right. Now, parents listening to that, children, don't try that, okay? Right. No, talk about it. No, talk about it. So they actually have advice on the 3, 6, 9, 12 principle. Yeah, at every age stage. Yeah, what are the things that that should be suitable for that stage? Like for example, 3 years and below. Actually, they don't advise parents to expose them to gadgets and all this. It's not good for their brain development. Yeah, somehow it has this digital gadgets has an effect on the brain, because the brain is developing at that time. Yeah, so this is from a neurobiological perspective, and parents need to take serious care, rather than now you see it in the coffee shop, you go a restaurant, you go for dinner, go for lunch, and you see the babysitter. Who is the babysitter?
iPad.
The
iPad.
iPad. Yeah. right? Which is bad for the child development, right? How about at the 6 years old? Yeah, what should be the things that they should be exposed to, and what are some boundaries? What are some safety measures? Yeah, there are a lot of apps outside, free apps, right? On browser filters to phone locks that you all can use. Use
Yes.
them, right? Use them to protect your child. Like for example, phone locks is there's one app. They actually has a timer one. Okay, let's agree. Okay, today you did a homework so well. Okay, you're going to play game. It's for 1 hour, right? Agree. 1 hour. Immediately at 1 hour, the phone, the app will lock the phone. Cut off the internet. No argument. No, it's neutral, objective. All agreed already. So that helps, in the de-escalation, right,
Yeah.
of emotions.
Mm. Okay. Okay. We have some questions. I'd like to read them out right now. One of them is that can we say that addiction is an acquired habit rather than a disease? A disease can be addressed by some medication, but how to cure a bad habit?
Yeah. I suppose I have to answer the question because I was the one who brought this up, right, from the disease model. Yeah. By the way, in 2 weeks' time, the NACC, whom I'm part of it, the National Association of Christian Counselors, we'll be having a conference on addiction. Yeah, and this is one question that the panelist speaker will be addressing. He is a famous clinical psychologist from Singapore. So he will be talking about addiction from a disease model. That's where I borrow this phrase, the disease, yeah, rather than habit. Yeah, disease is something that affects the brain. Yeah, in this context about addiction. Yeah, the brain is being affected. Like I talk about PID, for example. PID is a disease, right? Because of the tolerance level that has gone up. Yeah, the neural pathways being wired a different direction. There is a disease, that affected the brain. Yeah. One of the workshops that during the conference that we'll be talking about is on sex and porn addiction, with 2 doctors, two medical doctors. They'll be speaking on that. Yeah, they will be explaining how porn has actually rewired the brain cells, how the chemical called delta force B, right, has caused about mutation of the brain waves, the brain neural pathways. Yeah, so that intends that from that perspective is a disease. But having said that, it's also the habit. The habit, in the sense, they call the habit, cause the habit. But because you talk about drugs, Amanda talked about drugs early on. I live and work among drug addicts for about 3 years. So I slept with them, ate with them, play with them. Yeah, and I hear a lot of stories. I like to tell you one story, right, from them. Yeah. So this is not copyrighted, but this is what they say about the stages of addiction. They say the kali pertama is cuba, right? Try. Kedua is rasa, you taste it. Ketiga is kena. Third time you already kena, already get hooked. Keempat is duka and luka. Kelima is celaka, and finally the 6th time is neraka. Right? You go to hell already by the 6th time, right? Yeah. So it's a habit. You talk about habit, but that habit, get you hooked in this for drugs is because of chemicals. Yeah, for games. Now the gaming industry, they spend billions of dollars. Now who developed the games? The game technologists. They develop the game, but who are the ones that advise them to develop those games? Let me tell you that I'm embarrassed to say that they employ psychologists to advise them how to develop those games. So those games are developed in such a way to make addictive, to make them addictive. You talk about the recent Netflix documentary, Social Dilemma. Watch it. Of course, it's a very quite extreme. Yeah, Facebook director has come up with something to neutralize it. But the point is put across that it's addictive.
Right. Okay, thank you. Second question, say, some parents may feel that during the current pandemic, it is justified to let babies start using technology. What do you say, Peggy?
I think Patrick covered that earlier
Mm,
when he said that under 3 years old, they do not advise it. And so between 3 and 5, I would imagine that only they have put this guideline for only an hour on educating the kids, apps that educate kids. So anything under actually at least 2, no devices at all. And
yeah,
after that, maybe connection with your video call with your grandmother or grandfather that's somewhere else, that kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about Amanda? Do you have any advice?
For kids below 6 or 9, I will advise them to play more on the outside or stop playing with the phone more. Actually, in another way, like below 6, a lot of connective skills, feeling like memories, or even like sensory skills, all these, even like balancing, catching a ball, all these actually built before 6. So if there are lack of all these skills when they grow up, even they are good in technology, there are all these skills like connective thinking, or even like touching sensory, the 5 senses, all this is actually quite important. So if we keep exposing them to technologies only, their brains, like what Brother Patrick shared, their brain and neurons don't connect because there was no exposure on this, but only exposure to the internet and to the phones. So I do not encourage babies to take the phone. And plus, even for adults, we will know that there is like the blue rays, it affects our eyes and a lot of things. And plus, kids, their organs, their eyesight, everything is not fully matured yet. Even their brains are still maturing until they are 12. So for younger kids, I will encourage them to have more like play and learn, like going to the grass, stepping into the puddle. I actually encountered a kid who is 11 years old who have never barefoot stepped on the grass.
Mm,
And I was
Wow.
really shocked. I was really shocked. And I literally just, because it was after a rainy day, and we were like, hey, let's take off our shoe and jump into the puddle and just enjoy it, because it's like a holiday. It's just to like build your sensory, and even like stepping on the grass barefooted is actually like grounding. It's good for your body, and even can build up your immune system. But I was quite shocked that the kids say no. They say, I say, why? He say, I'm 7. They have never exposed all these, like touching sand, going near the beach, or even stepping on the grass barefooted on the ground. They will have this fear in them. Like, it's normal because you've never encountered, and you fear the unknown. So it's good for kids below 6 to have this adventure. Even they scrape their knees, like learning a bike, like for the immune system, it will build their confidence as well. Oh, I can do this. Age of 7 to finish the monkey bar. All this is a little achievement for kids. Instead, like the games, because games, they are achievement, but it's never feeling. And but all this is physical activities. It will help them in their immune system and even
mm,
build their body muscles. And even like we know that exercise, like for one, exercise have excrete like endocrines or something like that. Yeah, it makes them feel happier as well. And even it's good for kids to run around, and this one is better for the parents. Oh,
right. Okay.
agreement on that. Yeah, instead of the phone,
Okay.
they may not, maybe for 6 hours they're not tired. But for kids, you send them out to run for 1 hour, they come back and sleep for 3 hours. It's very peaceful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good trade-off. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for that insight. Perhaps So we're running out of time soon. Some parting advice for everyone's benefit.
I would,
All right.
can I say this? I would say to this generation's adults that have been born in
Yeah.
the digital world, you're born into it, you use it all the time, that now you are seeing your children using it a lot more than you maybe used to. I would ask you to be a good role model, that you cannot do something and say no to your children. You can't say, I'm doing this because I'm doing this for work. It's important. And then they are likely to imitate you because they want to be like dad, they want to be like mom, and then they will do exactly like you did. Like the father that I know that's playing games all the time, he was not into looking after his kids. He has kids that really need his attention, but he wouldn't give them his attention because, and then he would just panic about a lot of things. And so that's we have to think about our being a role model. Do our kids see us during dinner time, which is really the time for connection? Do they see us playing on the phone ourselves, or are they hey, no phones, phones are off limit at the dinner table, phones are off limit at family time? I think that would be what I like to say to everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, Peggy. Now, Patrick, I'll let you have the last say.
Well, Amanda has already given the advice to the young people to be more patient with us who are older. Yeah. I like to talk to the parents. Yeah. Just a one-liner. Yeah. Then I will also mention advice to the church leaders. Our parents, the journey to find a solution to your children's digital problems is as equally important as the solution itself. Let me repeat.
Yeah, please do.
The journey to find a solution to your children's digital problems is as important as the solution itself. Think about think about it. Okay, right now for church leaders and decision makers, I think we need to train people, lay counselors, to be effective in this area, to act as a guide, as a support to parents. I think FGA has done very well over the years, in starting the FGA family ministries and others to help parents, parents with young children, for example. Yeah, I see the need, right, for at least one, if not more, support groups to be started, where parents can join to get support. Yeah, for this journey they're going through. It's not easy. No? It's not going to be an overnight thing that hearing, go for a seminar or attend various things, then I'll solve my children's problem. It's not going to be like that, right? It's going to be a journey. Yeah, so they will need help that the journey they need the support. That's why the support groups are important. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I'm afraid that that's all about all the time that we have today. I've totally enjoyed learning and listening from our expert panelists on the topic of cyber wellness and the family. So thank you very much, Patrick, Peggy, and Amanda, for sharing your heart with us today. Okay, I think that it is quite safe to say that no matter what day and age, it is the spending of time together, having eye-to-eye contact, walking the talk, setting boundaries, etc., that are parenting tools that will never go out of fashion. So no matter what that technology advance towards, how advanced things go, all those that I just mentioned, they will never go out of fashion. And it will go a long way in raising children who will be God-fearing, responsible, and contributing members of society. this is what we as parents have always wanted to do, what the church is trying to support the parents to do. So I think it's mindful that we keep all that. Yeah. Well, I hope all of you watching is able to take home something. And if you have enjoyed today's topic, don't forget to click the share button. And also, if we are always on the lookout for relevant topics. So if there's any issues or topics you would like us to look into, post your ideas and feedback on the link that is provided below. And Family Heart Talk will be with you again with another exciting topic titled Incarnational Families. Don't know what that is? Then be sure to tune in and find out in 2 weeks' time. So till then, be blessed and don't forget to be a blessing too. Thank you very much. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you, Amanda. And thank you, Patrick. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Wow.